Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jones for Veterans in Politics. Today we have Staci Maione. My God, I went through that so fast. Maione. You Italian?
No, I'm not. I was married to an Italian.
Oh, okay. She married to an Italian. Founder of Agape
Rescue
Children. And if anybody doesn't know what Agape means, go look it up because it means love.
Love rescues children.
That's right.
Love rescues everyone, actually.
So, Mr. Jonas, you have any rants today?
Well, just one real quick. It was interesting because I don't know how many people have heard about it yet. And I don't typically talk about try to give anybody advertising that isn't worthy of it. But so Chris Rock finally started responding to the whole Will Smith thing. Mm-hmm. So Selective Outrage is a Netflix special that he just came out with. And it was very interesting because he actually went very hard against the woke culture.
I saw that.
Yeah. The what culture?
Woke culture.
Woke. Yeah. What's that? What's the woke culture?
Well, it's what the liberals keep pushing now. Everybody is a victim. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. He explained it, and because he got some backlash, when Will Smith went up and slapped him at the Oscars last year. A lot of people were like, "Why didn't he respond immediately and do anything?"
That would have given me a perfect opportunity to whip some ass.
Yeah.
And get away with it. But he get away with it. That's the beautiful part. Yeah. You can whip ass and get away with it on live TV.
So basically, in this special, it's pretty interesting how he brings it up. He goes, "I will not claim to be a victim." Mm-hmm. He said, "I'm not." He said, "I am not a victim."
I wouldn't claim to be a victim either after I whip that ass.
Yeah. He goes, "I'm not a victim at all." Uh-huh. And he goes, "That's the problem." He actually makes a very good, and this was to get to the point, makes a very good point that I think a lot of people need to understand. He said, where we've come in America is getting a little out of hand because he goes, this is how America used to work. If you want to take another man's job or person's job, then you need to do a better job than them. Right. Now, the way America works is you sit back, you don't do anything, and you just wait for them to make a mistake, and then you blast them in the media calling them racist.
But here's the thing, okay? Now, if he would have fought back, he wouldn't have been a victim.
Right.
He wouldn't have been a victim at all. People cheer him and say, good job, knock out that Will Smith guy. You know.
Well, but here's the interesting part about it, and I think this is what the brilliance of Chris Rock is because he didn't do that. So now what does he do? He comes out the week before the Oscars because the Oscars are coming on this Sunday.
Wednesday night.
Yeah,
or Sunday
that was
night.
Sunday night. Yeah, this Sunday night. So now he's going to make more money off this because they're going to be talking about this Netflix special for a long time. He's going to make more money off of it faster than if he would have sued Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's true, sure. But you know what? He would have made a lot more money if he busted Will Smith in the head.
But you know what? And the Oscars ratings are just going down so much. Yeah. So when they see that Chris Rock has a Netflix thing on, and nobody wants to watch the Oscars anymore. No. I mean, woke Hollywood. I mean,
no, it's not like it used to be.
It's not like it used to be. Yeah. It's not even all that good anymore.
So I mean, and I think his Netflix special is actually really good, where he points out selected outrage, because that's where we are in society right now, where it's like we just. Like sometimes we just let stuff go, and then other times it's like, oh, it's like this major deal. So.
Yeah.
And how many people go to the movies nowadays? I mean, you got Hulu, you got Netflix, you got all those other, you got Paramount, you got Stars, you got HBO, right? Yeah. You got all these other things on there. And nobody needs to go to the movies anymore.
We stay at home, cook dinner, watch movies. You know, be a hermit.
Yeah. All right.
That's what we've learned. So,
Mr. Jonas?
Anyways.
Yeah. Was that it?
Well, and then just real quick to pivot over to politics. I got this Instagram message from Amy Tarkanian.
Oh.
So I guess she's starting up her, she's got a new show coming out, America Matters. It's on 93.7 FM. It's called Every Monday Begin with Amy. And she has 2 people coming on her first episode, Victoria Seaman and Danny Tarkanian.
Oh. So. Victoria.
That should tell you everything.
Yeah, it does.
Right there. Yeah. That should just tell you everything you need to know. Yeah. Republicans, do not vote for Victoria Seaman. There you go. Yeah. End of story.
Yeah. And I think, and I'm just going to leave it at this, like, the Republican Party has to figure out this, like, divisiveness at some point. Mm-hmm. Like, I've brought this up, to be fair, I've brought this up to Amy, I've brought it up to Danny, because I know them both, and I brought it up to Victoria Seaman too. I'm like, you guys got to understand, like, Reagan was very clear on the 11th commandment. Yeah. You don't talk bad of another Republican to the media or in public. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you and I have a beef, we're not going to bring it up right here.
Mm-hmm. We got a big backyard right there.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. We got other rooms. Like, hey, let's just talk about this. Like, figure it out, right? Yeah. Because what's happening is, with this divisiveness, it's giving too much power to the woke Democrat culture that I think is really hurting this country. Yeah.
So that's kind of a perfect segue into the children. Because I don't believe the children are the children. Sex trafficking is a child issue. It's not a Republican and it's not a Democrat.
Before we go to that, Miss
Maione. I know. I just think it's a perfect segue.
Let's get a bio.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Staci Maione. I've been in Vegas for about little over 25 years. And I have been, working here and teaching yoga, just a yoga instructor. I started a healing business. And I really went down the rabbit hole in 2016.
There's a Hulu coming out called The Rabbit Hole.
The Rabbit Hole, right? So I went down the rabbit hole in 2016 because I learned politically between the candidates, between Hillary and Trump. I just learned that we couldn't get Hillary. We just couldn't get Hillary. So as time went on, and then I learned all about human trafficking when I was working for Trump, and I worked for the campaign, and I learned that his administration
was on the Trump campaign?
I was in 2016. Oh my God, it was the time of my life. It
really?
Was so
what did you do in that campaign?
You know what? I was volunteering. I simply volunteered. I went down to the office.
Did you meet the Donald?
I met a lot of them. I shook his hand. I didn't really get a chance to meet him yet. Yet is my key.
You just shook his hand.
I shook his hand. Yeah. But I met a lot of, I met a lot of people in his cabinet. No.
No, he didn't.
He didn't grab.
No, that'd be Joe Biden.
That would be Joe Biden. And he did, Donald did not sniff my hair or anything. So Donald. Oh, I'm not even going to say it. So anyways, once the Trump administration introduced me to human trafficking, and then COVID hit, and I dove deeper and I learned about all the children. There are so many little children. And there are so many situations and so many, situations of how the kids got there and if they were born into it and being sold and about sex trafficking. And I said, what do they do afterwards? Like, we know at this point, military people are getting the children, saving kids. We're teaching people how to spot human trafficking and kidnapping. But what do the kids do after that? They need to heal from the trauma that they've just experienced. They need to wrap their little brains around the fact that they've been traumatized. And so I thought, this is a perfect way for me to do aftercare for the children, heal them correctly, like give them a chance to really heal with my healing business, Ameliorate. So we could teach the kids to breathe. We can teach the kids to eat right and garden, meditation, yoga. And I've just created a little team of people that care so much about children and really wanted to jump on board and create the aftercare. And so once I learned about it, you can't turn your back.
So
once you learn about the children, you can't turn your back on them.
So you're the founder of Agape Rescue Children. How did you come up with the name of
Agape? Yeah. Agape means love. And we, as spiritual beings that we are, being in the holistic healing field, love is it. Love is everything. Love is God. Love is the way the division's going to be taken care of between Republicans and Democrats. And I truly believe that the children will unite the country. When people really learn the truth and the depth of all this crap, there's no way we can't unite.
So how did you get involved in rescuing children? How did that happen?
I don't rescue them. I don't go in there and rescue the children. I'm there afterwards when they come out and they need a place to call home. That's where we come in.
And what do you do exactly?
Well, we are creating healing properties and lands where the people can bring the kids to sleep. They simply need beds. So we are just a group of people that have huge hearts. We're full of compassion. We know how to heal children, and we know how to heal populations. I mean,
do you have facilities now? Or?
We do not have facilities now. We do a little bit of work, in my home and in certain people's homes around the country. We work with children, not with sex trafficked children as much. Of course, we have survivors that are much older now, but there are voices for Agape, And a friend of mine was trafficked through CPS, and he's a huge voice for Agape now. So how
long Agape has been in existence?
I created Agape about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
Because I knew about the children for such a long time. And I knew something needed to be done.
Right.
And as I got more involved with this, I thought, has nobody thought of this before? I know I'm not that smart, but seriously, has nobody thought of this before?
What do you mean you're not that smart? Why would you say that?
Somebody had to step up to the plate and say, I got to make a difference for these children.
How many children have you brought into your program?
From the sex trafficking end, we haven't had any little ones yet. Older people that have healed from trafficking, we have worked with. Some people on my team have worked with. Okay. But we haven't had, I'm really big on the kids on the border. For example, they're little kids.
The border, what do you mean by that?
The southern border.
You're talking about Mexican and Mexico and United States?
Because, that's all about trafficking. It's all trafficking drugs or children. It's cartels, and we know that. My head's not in the sand anymore. It's too exposed at this point.
Human trafficking is coming from overseas as well.
Oh, for sure.
They put them in shipping containers and bring them over here. Are you familiar with that?
The tunnels. There's tunnels under the ocean, and there's submarines, and there's all different kinds of ways.
I never heard them coming on a submarine.
Let me.
There's
I just need to pause. Tunnels under the ocean.
No. I'm sorry. We're not going to go.
I was going to get to that one after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Submarine. I didn't mean under the ocean. First. I mean submarines in the ocean. I didn't mean tunnels. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Tunnels, of course, underneath cities and things.
So you're talking about runaways, or are you talking about, because you're talking about the southern border earlier, but are you talking about runaway children and
so
homeless children and
tons of different
couch surfing children and all that? Is that what you're relating to?
All of it, all of the above.
Do you know how many children that's been trafficking yearly? Do you know that?
Well, they say, and the statistics out there, that when I put this together about 2 years ago, I'm looking through all different kinds of statistics.
Could I see that?
Statistics from where, though?
From different groups that we've worked with. We've worked with veterans in for child rescue. They're from out of Houston. We've worked with different groups, and we pick up, Operation Underground Railroad.
Okay.
We go to their website. Of course, I've been on this for so many years that we meet tons of people,
right?
That have access to this. So we created an educational manual, and that's where I made my.
So are you dealing with pimps and those types of folks
in Las Vegas? Yeah.
So I mean, what are the craziest things you hear? Do you hear like parents pimping their kid?
Oh yeah.
And stuff like for reals? You do hear that?
Oh, see, I have to start at Human Trafficking 101 because this stuff that we talk about that pimps take kids and hold the kids for blackmail to the mothers and all that. I just think it's second language.
So you heard of parents actually pimping their children out?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Do you?
And a lot of them sell their children into trafficking as well.
Parents.
Like, for example, if a coyote, they're called coyotes who bring the children over the border. So they're called coyotes. So the people in Mexico, maybe the family in Mexico, will get money to sell their child to a coyote.
Gotcha.
To a cartel. We'll bring them to the United States. The administration puts them on airplanes and they go around our country. And they have no paperwork. They have no nothing.
Have you personally dealt with these coyotes? Or?
No. I haven't. Okay. I haven't. I've wanted to go down to the border.
But you haven't done
just
that
to
yet.
see. No, I have friends that have gone down and taken their phone and, have their YouTube channel. And then I talk to them. And we watch the kids, go from the sliding glass doors to cross into our country. And then they go straight into a van with a guy that is just loading tons of kids into his van.
What about drugs? Does drugs play any role in any of this?
Yeah.
And what type of drugs are we talking?
Well, fentanyl is huge right now. Fentanyl, of course, we know is big, and cocaine, of course.
But
it's
probably a little bit too expensive. The cocaine, unless they mix it up,
and
unless they cut it. Right?
They cut it. Yeah.
The meth and the fentanyl and stuff like that. But like child trafficking, you can sell a bag of cocaine, meth, fentanyl one time. You can sell a child 20 times a day for the same amount of money as one bag of drugs.
And you got children,
I
right?
do.
So, do you educate your kids on?
Yeah, they live this. I mean, pretty much. So.
And what do you say to them?
Well, I mean, they're just aware of their surroundings. Everybody has to be aware of their surroundings, and especially now, because kidnapping is picking up and things are happening, and so you definitely have to be aware of your surroundings and know who you're talking to, and just be aware. But this educational manual teaches people on the grooming process and what to look for in a child, what to look for in a pimp, in somebody that you're kind of questioning.
I'd like to hear what to look for in a pimp. Please tell us.
I mean,
what do you look for in knowing somebody is trying to pimp you?
Well,
I mean, what would you tell kids?
For
is there
example,
key phrases or words or something like that?
There are tattoos that are in here.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we have tattoos. We have different ways that the men can groom the children online, and it's all in there. The grooming process.
The grooming process is actually pretty interesting. Target the victim, gain trust, meeting needs, isolation, exploitation. So, but how? What federal organizations have you gotten involved with to actually be able to quickly identify these children? Because right now, I mean, and this is all great, but it's like an educational thing.
Well, this is an education.
Right.
The reason I started this is because Donald Trump always said, start on the grassroots level. If you want to change something, start on the grassroots level. I started going to county commissioner's office. I started going to educational stuff.
The county commissioner?
Well, the meetings.
Oh, okay.
And speak out about education and stuff like that.
So you did the public comments?
Okay. I never did, but I was with a group of people. I never could.
Are you behind the scenes type of person?
Yeah, I'm kind of behind the scenes. I didn't want to stand out too much. I didn't want to stand out, so I was like behind the scenes. But I always went to learn.
This book that you've written, where could somebody find it?
So I'm getting it on Amazon right now.
Okay.
And on my website, when you go to my website, www.agaperescuechildren.org, you can put in your name and address and your email information, and we will send you a free PDF of this manual.
Do you go into the schools and talk to the staff or the teachers, or even at those PTA meetings or anything like that? You do that?
And, even just around with friends. I mean, hey, if somebody wants to learn a little bit and it might save a child, okay. Hey, somebody might come and say, hey, I have a question about this. This one's acting really weird. Should I be concerned, or should I, keep an eye on the people around her? This happens in your own backyard. I mean, this happens literally in your own backyard. Like,
so is it just females, or is also males they trafficking as well?
Oh, boys, yeah.
They do both? Okay.
Yeah, boys and girls, and many ages, many ages. And here in Las Vegas, it's, usually between the ages of 14 through 18, a little older, a little younger. It's getting that way. And, each place has its own little niche that's a problem.
Have you reached out to any of the local churches?
I have.
In town, because a lot of the churches in town actually have some really good programs that they're working with. Like a really good one is Destiny's House. Destiny's House might be something you want to look at, because basically they bring in, it's run by a lady that she was formerly trafficked as a young girl, and then she got sold to a pimp, and she got into the lifestyle, and now she runs an organization called Hookers for Jesus.
I know it, yes. Hookers for Jesus, yeah.
So I was in Calvary. Calvary Chapel does a lot of good stuff too. So have you reached out to those organizations and head pastors to see if there's something you could do there?
Yeah, I have. I've talked to Calvary, and I've talked to a lot of schools. I go into schools, and definitely I've talked to Calvary. And and the International Church of Vegas. So
Westcare is another facility that housed the teenagers that got involved in prostitution and drugs and all that stuff. They got a facility right on Rancho.
Westcare is a very good organization. Yeah, a lot of people that don't. They're afraid because they don't have insurance or whatever. Westcare is county funded, so it's like if you went to UMC, like they won't turn you away if you don't have insurance, and they'll give you a bed.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. You just need they need a bed, and I've noticed here in Las Vegas, when the metro goes to bust up a ring or whatever, they have to separate the trafficker from the victim, correct? And arrest the trafficker and arrest the victim as well, and take them to a lockdown facility, because if it's not a lockdown facility, they'll exit and go straight back to their trafficker. Yeah. So the lockdown facility is juvenile detention. And I'm like, I just think that is so wrong.
Have you ever visited one of those facilities, juvenile detention centers?
No.
Okay.
I haven't. But I just think don't take a victim to jail.
Right.
The way I see, I want to do little drop houses for children, or for anybody that comes out of trafficking that needs a place. They need a good night's sleep. They need to sleep for at least 3 days. I read a great quote the other day, and it said, the only thing between despair and hope is a good night's sleep. So just give them a good night's sleep.
Something that
and give them hope. Then we're going to give them hope.
Just real quick, have you read? So on that one, is this organization, like, is it filed to where it's got a license to where you can apply. And the only reason why I'm asking this is because if you want to give beds to people, okay,
or get grants,
apply for grants. That's exactly where I was going. Yeah.
That's what I'm working on right now.
Okay.
I am working on things for the grants and things like that. It's just it's a lot of work.
Oh, no, it's
a lot of work.
So based on that, how many people do you have helping you do all this work? Because you can't, I mean, you're not Steve Sampson. You can't do it all yourself. So
I'm not.
You might need
I can't do it. That's right. No, I have great friends that are helping. I have some wonderful friends. Yeah. And, we're all getting on board. There's probably like 4 of us right now. But everybody's busy doing their stuff. And I'm traveling. I'm starting to travel a lot with this, with Agape Rescue Children. People are getting the word out. And, and it has something in here about what to do if you see kidnapping happening or if you see kidnapping happening, because that happened to me personally.
It happened. Color, make car.
Well, I got to the point. Well, it's a long story of how I saw this little girl being trafficked in the mall. And I followed them down to where the car was in the car park, in the garage. And that word that I can't think of. And so I tried to call the cops. They couldn't do anything. I tried to call 311,
on phone forever with 311.
Oh my God. Then I called the mall cops. He came up and he's like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh shit. I was like, what's going to happen? And then I was like, well, I mean, what am I going to do? Like, I can't do anything about this. So at that point, I knew that somebody needed to make an app. So we could have an app of direct eyes on that child really fast. And so a friend of mine created an app called Q5ID Guardian App. And it's in here.
The one with the phone?
Yes, it's an app that you put on your phone. And it's where you can put in immediate.
Is that a QR code on there? Let me see that.
Yeah, there's a QR code. I don't know. I hope that QR is working on there. But it's an app where anybody that has that app in your geofencing area would get alerted. If I saw this little girl being trafficked or kidnapped and I got into Q5ID real quick and I put her description in, somebody could say, oh my God, I'm at that mall. Oh my God, where's that child? And then they're going to start looking and they're going to find that little girl.
Yeah, so it's almost digging down a little further into like an Amber Alert.
It is. Well, it's immediate. Amber Alerts,
your QR code's not working.
No, it's not.
No.
Darn it.
No.
All right. Well, it's Q5ID Guardian.
Okay.
But it is, because Amber Alerts, you have to wait for like up to 5 hours. You have to be approved and you have to get a background check and all that
because
stuff.
Amber Alert is specifically for basically missing kids. Now, unfortunately, some of them may be being trafficked if they're missing, but Amber Alert also has to follow local law enforcement statutes, which basically say, like, you can't just go up and say, hey, I can't find my kid, and they're going to instantly send out an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
There's a specific amount of time.
You have to wait. Yeah.
And if you're in back of a milk carton, it's too late for you.
Yeah. Right?
So how many kids get kidnapped yearly in this country? Do you know?
When I was doing these statistics for my educational manual, I mean, I read about 800,000 a year.
So we're dealing with kidnapped kids, right? We're dealing with parents selling their kids. We're dealing with children coming from the southern border, and we're dealing with kidnapped kids, selling kids. I think I'm missing one.
Kids coming from overseas or couch surfers.
Latch kid.
No, children that are just homeless.
Yeah,
and you're mentioning in the tunnels, right?
Yes, in the tunnels.
Have you been in these tunnels?
We went,
because I heard there's a lot of them here in Vegas.
There's a lot of homeless in the tunnels here in Vegas. Yeah.
Have you visited any?
No, I haven't been down to a tunnel, but we went and did a really interesting interview with a guy that started. I can't remember his name. Paul, started Shine a Light. Mm-hmm. Shine a Light is an organization, and he was homeless. He was an addict living in the tunnels for 5 years. He came out and he started a foundation to help these people in these tunnels.
From tunnels to foundation.
Yeah, there you go. He goes down to the tunnels, shines a flashlight, mm-hmm. brings them food, brings homeless people whatever they need, and if they want to get out of that situation, mm-hmm. they come with him. He provides a bed for them, some healing, mm-hmm. and sends them on their way. Okay. To be healthy individuals.
Well, that's good because
which is absolutely incredible.
What about the psychological harm that's going on? Because there's Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, there is Stockholm syndrome.
And if that's all a kid knows how to do, that's the first thing they're going to levitate to, right? So how about the psychiatric part of it?
So I think with the Stockholm syndrome, which is kind of the returning back to your trafficker, mm-hmm. That kind of like, he's my savior kind of a feeling that they call it Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, it's almost like institutionalism, like a lot of people that have spent significant amounts of time in jail.
Yes.
Like once they get out, they actually don't know what to
do.
Because they're so used to being told, you wake up at this time, you eat at this time. Yeah. They have a routine.
Yeah.
I would have a major problem with that. I don't like to be told what to do.
You would probably have a problem with that.
Major problem with it.
So to get around the Stockholm, or to deal with that, I should say, is to give kids space, let mm-hmm. them sleep, mm-hmm. and let them know that if their mind is right and solid, and we can get a little glimpse of a solidness to it, and just break that Stockholm syndrome, mm-hmm. Just let them know that there's something else. Yeah. Just let them know that there's something else. And I really, truly believe that if we don't have the laws for this, for children, and, against these traffickers, and healthy aftercare for children, it's never going to end.
Well,
this thing is never going to end.
This is a legislative session right now, or have you lobbied for?
No. I've talked to some people.
Have you been to Carson City?
I have not been to Carson City,
but
I've talked to some people. You know what? I'm so ready to get on the
hold on 1 second, Miss Maione.
Maione.
The people, I don't know what people you're talking to, but the people you should talk to would be the legislators that are currently in office right now, that are passing laws right now. Have you?
No, I know that they are.
Are you familiar with?
I am familiar with it, and when I know Joe, and we are getting things going. Okay. It just I have so much on my plate.
You talking about Joe Lombardo?
I can only do so much.
You said Joe.
Yeah, I mean, we just get to talk and spend some time with him and make him aware, and things happen.
Have you set up a meeting with Joe?
No.
Okay.
I haven't.
All right. Well, maybe that might be helpful if you get some of these laws changed or reinstituted.
I'd love to do it, but I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I could always have people.
Well, you need a lobbyist in your Agape Rescue Children mm-hmm. that could do these things.
Yeah.
I'm not volunteering myself.
Yeah.
Maybe Jim might.
I don't know. You know what? That's a whole ball of wax that I haven't even dealt with yet. Mm-hmm. I would like to.
Where do you get your funding from?
That's where. Well, we're getting donations right now, and
how would one donate?
Well, on my website. Mm. On my website. Okay.
What website is that?
AgapeRescueChildren.org.
Okay. You have a donation page on there?
There's a donation page on there, and and what I ask is just to get the word out. Just teach people that this happens. Mm-hmm. Just make people aware.
And how are you getting the word out?
Doing interviews like this, going to meet as many people as I can, traveling when I can, and just keeping at it.
All right.
And just keeping at it,
Mr. Jonas, do you have anything else?
No, actually, I don't. After we get done, I got a couple numbers for you to go to Carson City.
Thank you.
That'll, I think, will help you out. No, other than that, I just really appreciate you coming on. But before we forgot something, so I want to make sure that we thank Ron Quince who is sponsoring this podcast. And I also want to thank Stephanie Phillips, who is also sponsoring this podcast. And I wanted to thank you very much for coming in. This is a very important issue.
And thank you so much for putting this together. And I really, it's a passion project. Yeah. And right now it's me and a couple of friends just getting it going.
That sounds like a game show. Me and a couple of friends. Miss Maione.
Getting it going.
Maione. Mark is going to zoom in on you, and you could say your website, or get people, or whatever you want to say, how they could identify sex traffickers, or whatever the story might be. Okay.
So the website is www.agaperescuechildren.org, and please go donate, help us out, get the education out amongst your communities. And I have my educational manual, and just get the word out as much as you can. We're going to heal these children with holistic healing aftercare.
Ms. Staci Maione,
yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the program. This has been very informative, and right? I hope somebody gets a hold of you and help with these children. Jim, thank you so much. Folks, that's Staci Maione from, did I say it right?
Yep.
From Agape, AGAPE Rescue Children. And we're just trying to get the word out and help those lost souls out there and help them find a home, and make sure that children don't have to do anything like this, and put all these pimps and sex traffickers behind bars where they belong. This is Steve Sanchez, Jim Jones of Veterans in Politics. Until next time.